So Matt, tell us about your new hair care routine.
Well, I got this new thing that is working really well to keep my hair looking good for the videos. What I really like about this new product is that it's like a convenient size, so I can fit it in the back of my truck and plug it in wherever I need to and get my hair done that way.
My name is Matt. Follow along as I turn Duracell, the legendary ocean racing sailboat, into a comfortable cruising home.
Hear that sound? That is the happy sound of Matt working on Duracell. The Duracell boat shed has been pretty quiet the last few weeks because Matt has been so busy working on a client's boat project in the yard in town. Today is a really exciting day because yesterday his client's boat splashed, and that means that now today he gets to really turn to Duracell for the summer. So we are really excited, and we're excited to bring you all along for what's going to be an action-packed summer of work on the boat.
Welcome back. This week I am working on putting together the swim step and transom face, and also I got a really cool visit from an old friend of mine. I cut out the swim step and transom face from old pieces that I cut out of the boat. I had to sand off the paint and fairing before they were ready to be taped together. I've got the swim step and this transom face part cut out. These are actually pieces that I cut out of the boat a long time ago when I was doing demolition. And so I'm kind of recycling parts of the boat to build a new transom. And I'm going to be doing using more pieces for other things like the sidewalls and bulkheads and stuff. And so, but the next part, I got to sand the top of this swim step down. And then I'm going to tape together the face to the swim step just on the outside here so that tomorrow I can take the whole part out and do a radius and a tape on the inside of this corner, the boat inside of this corner. So after I get this thing glued in, I'm going to start working on the bulkheads and the side decks up on the cockpit. So I taped these two things together yesterday, the face, the transom face, and the swim step. And I just taped them together in place, so now I can actually remove this whole part. And it's one piece. And I'm gonna route this edge so that it has a nice radius on it, and then I'm gonna tape these two together, and then I'll glue the entire piece into the boat and tape it in as well. So this is what I'm working on today.
And why are you wearing a mask right now?
I'm wearing a mask because I have allergies, really bad allergies. I cut a radius into the outside corner so that fiberglass can smoothly lay around the edge without creating any voids under the glass. So I'm just gonna leave this out in the sun so it hopefully cures by the end of the day.
Hey Matt, Haas just went inside the boat.
Before I could glue in the swim step, I had to prep the area that on the boat that the swim step would be glued to. This included the little triangles that originally made the stern extension, the small little triangles. They were still hollow, so I had to fill them with foam and thickened epoxy. And after that cured, I was able to sand the surfaces of those triangle parts, and then the swim step was ready to be glued down. On the day that I glued the swim step into the boat, it was really hot. So when I mix a bunch of epoxy together like this, it tends to cure really quickly because with heat, it cures faster, as well as with mass, it cures faster. And so I used a Ziploc bag, filled it with the epoxy, and then used it as a cake frosting dispenser, and covered all the surfaces with the thickened purple epoxy, and had to work very quickly before the epoxy could cure to get the swim step glued down. So I was very lucky this week to get a visit from my friend Al. It would be tough to overstate that Al has been a huge influence on my life. I did my first couple ocean crossings with Al. I kind of got the boat building bug from Al. He was the mastermind and captain behind the first place finish at the Race to Alaska, and the first Race to Alaska that we did. I think a lot of people would say that, of course, Al is a brilliant boat mind, but him and his wife Lou are also incredibly helpful and kind and very, very interesting people. And I was really excited to have him over to show him around on the boat. He also used to own an Open 60 that is now owned by another friend of ours, Graham, and his family, Dog Bark. And so it was really fun to show him around the boat. So this is my dear friend and mentor, Al, who you can all blame this situation on him.
Al, I'm not taking the total blame.
But tell us about Louise.
So I'm the one who designed and built Louise. It was my wife and I's home for 35 years before we pawned it off onto Matt and Yanni. And obviously they enjoyed it. Louise also went through a lot of iterations, kind of like Duracell, before it ended up like it was. Anyway, I can empathize with Yanni's distress and joy.
I'm not distressed.
There are times you're distressed. But anyway, Matt is a great friend, and I think he's well past mentorship.
So I'm actually not distressed because I have full confidence in Matt's skills and his commitment to this project. However, there was a time in the beginning when we first met Duracell that I was perhaps a little distressed. Let's time travel for a couple minutes to 2019. It was the last few weeks of our Pacific cruise. I kept a blog for family and friends, and this is the last entry I wrote. I wrote this entry just 2 weeks after Matt had met Duracell for the very first time in John's backyard. I hope I won't bore you by reading just a little bit of my last blog post. Currently, we're both full of the energy that comes with taking the first steps toward a dream. For me, the dream is feeling like I have finally found my true vocation, helping teachers and students restore ecosystems as a part of their science curriculum. For Matt, the dream is an object weighing 15 tons, approximately. We'll start with the elephant in the room. Well, more like several large elephants. Recently, I have observed Matt sitting with a half smile on his lips, a twinkle in his eye, legs crossed, and a Birkenstocked foot, gently swaying and betraying an inner glee. I know during these times that he's thinking about the hull. He recently took offense that I referred to it as the hull. I asked him why this offends him, and his indignant reply was that the hull sounds so soulless. This is not just any hull. It has a storied past and hopefully a storied future with us. So let me tell you a little bit about the hull. The hull is actually a tiny bit famous, and its name is Duracell. We'll scroll through this part since you probably know Duracell's story by now. So you might ask, why this boat exactly? What makes Duracell so special? Matt says it's because it's the most solid, safe, well-built, fast hull out there that he knows of. A very special shell that we can make our home. He's in love. Every evening he spends drawing out plans, which completely absorbs him, only punctuated by occasional statements that are sometimes encouraging to me, like, this is going to be the coziest boat in the world, and other times a little alarming, like, oh, it only weighs 30,000 pounds. Then I wrote, how are we going to afford this, you might ask? Well, one idea is to create a YouTube channel. You know our story from there. Duracell has actually been in our yard for exactly a year now, and there have certainly been some distressing times in the last year, many of which we've shared with you, our viewers, on this channel. But as any boat builder watching this knows, or anyone who's taken on any big project in life knows, setbacks are just a part of the journey. And overall, Matt and I are feeling good about how we're doing a year in, and this is in large part because of how many people around the world are following us and cheering us on. It's really pretty amazing. So thanks for being part of our journey.
We have a few Patreons to thank. We missed last week, and so we have a few extras to thank this week. If you are interested in joining our Patreon community, you can find us on patreon.com at the Duracell Project. First, thank you to Joy and Jerry, who are from Bainbridge Island, which is very close to here. They have a Jason 35, which is called Drommen, and I'm pretty sure I've seen this boat cruising around. It's a gorgeous boat, and they also have a PT11, which, if you don't know about PT11s, they're awesome plywood kit boats that are nesting. It's an 11-foot nesting dinghy. They're great at sailing, great at rowing, really gorgeous little boats. So thank you very much, Joy and Jerry. Dominique, his family became Patreon members, and they sent us this really incredible video of their parents who built a 42-foot ketch in the 50s. It's a cold molded ketch, and it is an incredible project that they documented. They shot the whole project from start to finish, lofting it on the floor all the way to sailing it at the end. It's a 30-minute video, and I think they're going to make a documentary about the build of this boat and what their parents did back then to get this boat out the door. It's an incredible video. So thank you very much to Dominique and his family. And then thank you to Philip, who rebuilt this Mirador 20, which I haven't heard of these boats before, but it looks like a really, really cool boat, and obviously a very big project that he did a beautiful job on. So thank you very much, Philip. And then a few that we didn't hear from: Gerald, we didn't hear from Nicholas, and we didn't hear from Carly and Tanner. But thank you all again very, very much. We really appreciate it. We couldn't do this without you. So until next week, thanks again.